Well, I grew up in a very secure environment, very safe, very protected. I grew up basically knowing boundaries, parents that set clear boundaries with clear consequences for overstepping those boundaries, but also knowing what other people's boundaries were towards me. And I never felt insecure, I never felt at risk, I never felt scared or unprotected, which is very different for the kids in a lot of the communities here. You know, when the kids are not in school, they're left to play, unsupervised. They're out on the streets, they're totally vulnerable to people that are just either passing by, but unfortunately in the communities, it's not the strangers that the kids are at risk at, it's the people that the parents trust, like neighbours and other family members that the children are vulnerable to, because the parents very often have to leave them with uncles or neighbours, and then it's them that end up abusing the children. They're the perpetrators. So, I mean, there's lots, we know a lot of kids that have been abused by neighbours and relatives and uncles. An incident just a couple of weeks ago, it was actually on the news. It was from one of the kids in our schools, had been physically assaulted, abused by a neighbour. The parents had left the child with the neighbour, and the neighbour sexually assaulted that child. And another child from one of the schools also came to the school with just like a big wound, fresh wound, round the side of his face, and he had been just hit by his father with a belt just round across his face. And that was, well, not his father, his stepfather. So his stepfather. For me, that's a total shocking thing, because that's not the environment that I grew up in. And then Mumphy helps them understand who are the people that is allowed to touch there with their permission. Like, it could be their mum when she's helping them wash, or the doctor if they have to go and see the doctor, or the nurse at the clinic. And also Mumphy teaches them about HIV and just about personal safety, cleanliness, also also child trafficking, how to play safe. So that's all that Mumphy does. So that's with the younger kids, and then we go up through the ages and just go into more detail relevant to that age. And then the older kids, of course, with HIV, we teach them the whole sexual part, how when sex is used outside of the purpose that God designed it for, as in outside marriage and expression of love, then it becomes dangerous. And then also about human trafficking, and just there's lots that we teach them. Every week when I go to the children, I tell them the same thing every week. I put 2 verses of the Bible up on the blackboard. The thief comes to steal, kill and destroy. But I have come to give you life. And I ask them every week, who are you going to choose? Do you want to choose to follow Satan and listen to his lies, the way that he lies about sex, he lies about love, he lies about who you are, he lies about what you should do, because he's the father of lies? Or do you want to choose Jesus, who is the way, the truth and the life? And that's That's the foundation every week that I give them. Before we start a lesson,